We're in Berlin to drive the new Toyota Aygo Cross. The big news is that it's going all hybrid, but as I'm standing in front of the new GR Sport version, I think I better address the design first. The whole new front end here on this car. The reason being, of course, the hybrid system needed a bit more space, so it needed to be redesigned anyway, so they took the opportunity to completely redesign it. New lights, new bumper, new grille. This GR Sport model gets this much more expressive grille, a GR badge, of course, and very distinctive black bonnet. Won't be to everyone's taste, but it definitely makes it stand out. It also gets these 18-inch alloy wheels, which are a bit different to what you'll find on the regular models. A little bit sportier, low-profile tyres, and there's some suspension changes as well underneath. I'll talk about those when I'm out driving it. As you move down along, it still keeps the old car's profile, so rising waistline, raised ground clearance to give it a bit of a crossover vibe. It is, as ever, a city car. It's quite small, as you can see. It is a 5-door, but these back doors are quite small. The rear seats are for occasional use. Something you won't spot too easily from the outside is that it has disc brakes on the back now. It had drum brakes before, and that's part of quite a comprehensive suite of technical upgrades. Again, I'll talk about the hybrid system itself when I'm out driving. At the rear, the changes aren't massive actually here. You still have this black glass panel for the tailgate. It's actually really nice and smooth. It's well engineered as well. How much black you have back here depends on the trim level. This GR Sport model gets all black to go with the bonnet up front, but actually some of the other trim levels also get black on the back and a black roof as well, as you can see here. This colour, this is called mustard, and it's bespoke just for the GR Sport. You can get other colours for the GR Sport, of course, but you can't get this colour on any other trim level. Inside, the Aygo Cross hasn't changed massively. It's still the same size, it's still the same amount of space, and actually impressively, despite the fact that this now has a hybrid system on board, the boot is no smaller. It's over 200 litres, which is plenty for this class of car. This GR Sport model, however, gets these lovely seats. They're made of the sustainable upholstery, but it's actually really nice to touch and feel, and they're quite supportive. We did a bit of driving today in it, and absolutely fine. They look nice as well. They've got these little GR logos in it. Speaking of which, you do get a GR branded steering wheel in this model. Now, the standard models, they come with a perfectly circular steering wheel, which we like. It always feels good to hold. It also gets a body colour panel down here, which ties in to the paint colour on the outside. I quite like that. This GR model in the middle has kind of an anodized silvery finish to the plastics as well, which is unique to this, whereas the other cars have plastic that has colour in it similar to the body colour on the outside. It's a nice little touch, it's very subtle, and it's built into the materials. There's no extra painting, there's a bit of sustainability there, which I quite like. Aside from all that, there's a technology upgrade in here. You get this much better digital instrumentation than we had before, and in the middle they've kind of redesigned this touchscreen surround and everything. It just looks a bit slicker and smoother, and of course, you know, we've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on all those bits and pieces here, as you'd hope. The rear is very cozy, absolutely. The rear door openings is quite small. As before, that hasn't changed, but this is a city car, and I think that's worth bearing in mind. Now, if you really want to, you could put a child seat back there and perhaps move the passenger seat forward, because there are two ISOFIX points back there. It's not a car for 4 people ever. You know, you could have a parent here and a kid in the back on an ISOFIX. Plenty for that, and a boot that'll carry a buggy or what have you. But anyway, it feels of decent quality. It's well specified. We don't know the pricing yet. That is probably the big unknown. But anyway, as I said at the top, the big news is the adoption of hybrid power. So we should probably go take it for a drive. So we're out on the road, and this is the GR Sport model that we have with us right now, and it has a few suspension changes for sure. It's a little bit firmer actually, surprisingly. And even things like the anti-roll bar are firmer, you know, to give a bit more firmer steering response, better body control and everything. And to be honest, you do notice it, though I'm not convinced that so many buyers will care about such things. I think they'll care more about the fact that it looks like a GR Sport. Anyway, I'm rambling. I should be talking about the actual hybrid system here. And this is what this car is all about. It's the familiar system from the Yaris and the Yaris Cross. So 1.5 litre petrol engine, 3 cylinders, naturally aspirated, and then powerful electric motor and the old electronic CVT transmission. So fully automatic, of course, front wheel drive. All of that we know. In this car, it produces 116 horsepower in total, which is considerably more than before. And not only that, you've got the torque of the electric motor down low, and in fact this car can drive in fully electric mode, just like the other Toyota hybrids. So it transforms the car. Before you had a 1 litre naturally aspirated and very underpowered engine in this car, and to make any progress you actually needed to rev it quite a bit, and it was just a really slow car. It was a bit underwhelming with that engine, to be honest, although the car itself was actually fine. And now it's transformed. It doesn't feel slow anymore. I mean, it's not a performance car in any way, but it has more than enough performance for what you need. More importantly, actually, the hybrid system has meant it's more refined because it can use the electric side of the equation. It's just quieter all of the time, and sure, it still has a hybrid, elasticity to it where you put your foot down and there isn't instant response because of that transmission. But as we've already seen in the Yaris and the Yaris Cross, Toyota has developed that quite well now, and it isn't anywhere near as elastic as it used to be, and there's far more response than there ever has been from it. And this is identical to the system in the Yaris. So it feels perfectly responsive enough. And because of the 3-cylinder engine, it sounds quite smooth as well. It's not rough in any way. All of that is great. So more power, more performance, it's smoother, quieter, more refined. And there's more. It's more efficient as well. It is a 1.5 litre engine, and yet it's way more efficient than the old 1 litre. In fact, Toyota can quote CO2 emissions of only 85 grams per kilometre, which it reckons is the lowest number for any non-plug-in hybrid car. And obviously that means really low motor tax, but it's also directly linked to fuel consumption. And when we were out on the road earlier, admittedly it was a fairly slow route, not very hilly, we weren't pushing it all that hard, but we saw after a couple of hours driving an average of 3.3 litres per 100 kilometres. Now that's astounding. That really is so impressive. Some of the best diesels might get down to 4-ish on a motorway run or whatever, but anything around the 3 litres per 100 kilometre mark is incredible. And it looks like you should be able to get that while just ambling around town, which is, let's face it, this car's natural habitat. The differences between the two cars, there are some actually. When you get back into the regular version, it feels smoother and softer on the road. The suspension's a bit softer, obviously it isn't quite as stiff, and it also has the smaller wheels with the tyres aren't quite as low profile. So if you don't care about the GR Sport looks, then the normal one is the one to go for. But I think I'm struggling to find a negative thing to say, especially in comparison to its predecessor. So just to recap, it's more powerful than before, yet it's quieter than before, and yet it also is more efficient than before. I mean, that's a great result. Last thing really to find out is how much it costs. I can't imagine Toyota will sell this for the same price that it sold the old car. Now, when I looked at the Toyota website before coming out in the car, the outgoing car is listed at under €22,000. That is for the manual one. So there used to be a CVT automatic as well, and that would have been more expensive. And this is perhaps the one to compare with that because it's automatic as well. But, it's a whole new system. It does need to go up in price a little bit, and I think it will. Even so, there are so few rivals to this car in the market. A full hybrid system, a crossover look, and the quality that comes with the Toyota car as well. So it'll be really interesting to see. Interestingly, the Yaris, which is a little bit of a bigger car still, even though they share platforms and engines and everything, the Yaris starts at about €27,000. So I think that gives us a good gauge. I think we should expect something below that for the Aygo Cross. And I think that's quite competitive, to be honest. Certainly for somebody who doesn't need lots of rear space or a massive boot. Somebody who just needs, a nice runabout, if you like, but they want something that does it all. So that's our first drive of the new Toyota Aygo Cross Hybrid. The hybrid system completely transforms the car. This is a much improved car. It's now something you might choose instead of a Yaris, which is interesting, I think. The pricing might reflect that. We'll wait and see. Anyway, check out the full written review on CompleteCar.ie.